Hello everyone, so I decided, because I haven't done a video for almost a week, I would do my weekly review video a bit early. I got 8 films to talk about. I managed to watch 8 films in the last just under a week. It might have even been a week today, I'm not sure, but it's been about a week, so I thought I'd do it now because I haven't really had any suggestions of what other videos to do yet. So until I get any more suggestions, which I'm welcome to anything, I'll try and do anything. If it's what you would like to see, just comment it down below and you will probably see a video about it if I can do it. But yeah, this is I thought it was time to just do this because a bit of a lull because it's a Wednesday, so um to get on with it because I don't want it to drag for too long because the last one was a bit longer than I expected it to be, so let's just get on with it. So, first of all, I watched Herself, which is a new movie that is it's set in Ireland, and it is about a single mother who decides to build a house in the back garden of her. Well, she's like a cleaner, so and the woman is like a doctor that I think she did something to her ankle when she was in Africa, if I remember correctly, and because she's living basically in hotels because she has had to escape a abusive relationship. Her the nurse or doctor or whatever she is says that she can build a house in the back of her garden. So she does, and it's an enjoyable watch. If you like an easy watch, it's good. I think it's only about an hour and a half, so it's not too long. It definitely doesn't drag. It was from Phyllida Lloyd, who also directed the first Mamma Mia film and The Iron Lady. I looked at her filmography, those are really the only big films that she has directed. The acting in this was very good, and the music that was chosen for parts of this film was actually interesting because I didn't think that they would use, because they use quite well-known music, and I thought it was going to be the type of film that goes basically on score because, sorry, some of these words do not make sense and some of these sentences do not make sense. I'm trying my best. Not very good at reviewing stuff, just to let you know, and I don't review stuff very often. I'm not used to it, so as I say, each video should get a bit better, but I don't want to keep waffling on, so I'll carry on. Yeah, and there was something that happened at the end that was a bit disappointing, but I'd say it was a satisfying film overall, and if you like just an easy watch that's not too long and new, I'd recommend it. I don't know when it's out in England. I watched it. Most of my films I watch on my Fire Stick, but I believe it's out sometime in March in England. I know it's already out in America on Amazon Prime, which is how I was able to watch it. But yeah, it was a good watch, so I would recommend that. Next up, I watched The Last Castle. So I really do enjoy prison dramas, and recently, in my last review video, I talked about Brubaker, which is also a prison drama, and also stars Robert Redford, who also stars in this film. And it's about a disgraced colonel who's sent to this big prison that is nicknamed a castle, because it was said that it used to be a castle years and years ago before it was a prison. And it's basically about him uprising against I think he's a general, this like the warden of the prison, but he's never been in combat before. He's not what Robert Redford's character would consider to be a soldier because he hasn't experienced any of the other things that most soldiers and everyone that's actually in the prison, all the prisoners, what they've experienced. So he, with the rest of the prison, uprising. It's a very good film. It's one of my favourite. I would say now I have seen quite a lot of prison films, specifically prison dramas. It is up there for me. I mean, I don't know if I would say it's as good as The Shawshank Redemption, but it's definitely up there, and it's quite underrated. I don't think many people have seen it before. well, they may have, but I've not really heard people talk about it before. It's 20 years old, so but the acting was really good, and it was 2 hours, but it didn't drag at all. Um, and if you do like prison dramas, or if you like just films that have Robert Redford in, and you haven't seen this one already, I would definitely recommend checking out The Last Castle. So next up, there was a new release that I watched on my Fire Stick, and it was Lockdown. And I was looking forward to this because of the cast, and I thought it could be a well done film. But I think that they should have held off. I know they made it in 2020, but I think if they released it in another year, it may have been a more impactful and better film. But because at the moment, obviously, we're all stuck in lockdown and it's about lockdown, it is a bit depressing, and I think it was just too soon. It was rushed. The script was very rushed, and I have heard that they basically filmed the first draft of the script because they just wanted to get it out there and made as soon as they could. And I mean, this writer is Stephen Knight, and he's a good writer. I mean, he's done Peaky Blinders, Locke, lots of good things. Not that I've seen any of them yet, but yeah, I was looking for more, and I thought it was going to be satisfying, and I liked the idea that it was sort of like a heist movie, like, but that isn't until the end, and even that wasn't very satisfying when it came down to it. I didn't even think that particularly Anne Hathaway or Chiwetel Ejiofor did a particularly good job in this. I mean, I don't think it was their fault, because as I say, it did feel quite rushed, but because they did film it back in like start of October, and they've just released it, so that's what, like 3 months. As I said, I think it would have been a better film. I think I would have liked it more had they released it, one, after this lockdown is finished, and two, maybe in a year's time when things are a bit better in the world. So, and again, I have forgotten to do the star system. I don't think I'm going to give stars. I think, or if I do, I think I'm going to do them at the end, because then I can do them all at once and I won't forget. So I think I'm going to do that from now on in my review videos. But yeah, so I wouldn't recommend checking it out, really, not at the moment, because it's just a downer of a film, because as I say, the first half they're stuck in a house together when they don't want to be, and the heist bit, which was the thing I was watching it for the most, didn't have a very good payoff to me. The ending wasn't very good, and overall it just wasn't a very good film. Next up, I watched a new film that has just come out on Netflix called Outside the Wire, and this stars Anthony Mackie and I don't know the other main character's name, Damson something. I should have done my research, but I didn't. I was actually quite surprised by this film. I was expecting it to be another crappy action Netflix film, because they do seem to churn them out quite a lot, especially in the last year. There have been some exceptions like Extraction. I quite enjoyed The Old Guard as well. So there have been some exceptions, and this wasn't too bad. It was a generic action thriller, but I did have fun with it and I did enjoy it. There was a twist towards the end, which I didn't see coming, but I felt it had half an hour left, and before that half an hour had finished, I felt like the film should have already finished. I felt that last half an hour was pretty unnecessary and forced, and it didn't they could have done it in, closed it up in 10 minutes really, and it would have still have been a good film, even if it was just an hour and a half. It would have still been very enjoyable. There isn't really much else I can say about this. If you're looking to watch just a action film that, like, mindless, that you don't really have to think much about, I'd recommend watching it if you've got nothing else to watch. But I can't say it's a brilliant film, because it's not. There are much better films that I would rather watch on Netflix. But if you come across it, and as I say, you have nothing to watch, it's okay to watch. It's not too bad. And next I watched a classic that I haven't watched in years for some reason, because I recently picked it up on Blu-ray, and it's probably my favourite Pixar film. If not, it's right near the top. It would probably be top 5, and that is Monsters, Inc. And as I said, I haven't seen this for quite a few years, probably about 5-6 years, which is bad, because I should have, because I really do like it. And because when I watched it, the last time I watched it, I was quite a lot younger. This time I picked up on a lot of different things and some Easter eggs from other Pixar films that are just like a nod to other stuff, which are quite good. Um, I just love all of the characters in this. I think they work very well. I think the story's very well. I think the music, everything about this. This is, to me, a perfect film. You could not get. I mean, there are. I think for Pixar, most of Pixar films are 5-star films for me, especially the earlier ones like The Incredibles, the Toy Story films, Finding Nemo, those sorts of the very first ones. I would put 5 stars, all of them. But they're all the other ones are probably 4 stars. The only 3-star one would probably be Cars 2, which I did used to enjoy when I was younger, but when I watched it like 2 years ago, it was quite boring, I thought. But I won't get into that now because I'm not reviewing that. I'm reviewing Monsters Inc., which is a brilliant film, and I genuinely can't fault it. If you haven't seen it, why are you watching this video? You obviously don't know much about films, because that is a quintessential film, but I can understand if you haven't watched it, because there are lots and lots of films, and some people just don't know about these films, and I can understand that, because there are some films that I only watched for the first time last year that people couldn't understand that I hadn't already watched. So yeah, so that's Monsters Inc. And next I watched News of the World, which is the new Tom Hanks Western. And going into this, I'd heard very mixed things. I'd heard it was an average film. It was okay, but it wasn't going to win any awards, which I'm guessing is what they're aiming to do. But I agree, it was an okay film. The story was good. I did like this. I didn't feel like it was forced. Like a lot of westerns they make nowadays, they feel very forced. Like the story's not usually very good. But with this one, it's Tom Hanks, so I had high expectations going into it, because he is one of my, he definitely top 3 favourite actors, because he's just Tom Hanks. Everybody loves him. He's a national treasure. And we don't really see many westerns now, and not many good ones anyway, as I said. And I would say it's worth a watch if you like westerns, or if you like Tom Hanks. I'm not going to go much into the story. All I'm going to say is it's about a man. He's a captain that was in the army, and he goes around America reading towns, news of the world, and comes across a girl and has to take her to family. And that's all I'll say. I won't go into any other plot details, because that is all you need to know going into it. And if you don't like that plot, then you're not going to like the film. So that's that. Second to last film is a film that's literally today or yesterday only had its first trailer release, and I don't even think it's got a release date for the UK, but I managed to find it on my Fire Stick, surprisingly, because it's just we've not really heard anything about it. I'd heard of the film, but it's been pushed quite a few times from what I remember. But as I say, I got the opportunity to watch it. It's called Boss Level, and it stars Mel Gibson and Frank Grillo. And I do actually quite enjoy Frank Grillo, but he's usually more of a supporting character. But I think he did very well as a main character in this. And I thought it was going to be bad because it has been pushed. And it actually wasn't a bad film. It was quite a good film. Not a brilliant film, but it was quite a good film. I like the story, although I feel like I've seen it done somewhere else before. I mean, it is basically Groundhog Day, but an action Groundhog Day. And I'm pretty sure I have seen that before. Can't point my finger on where exactly. If you can, let me know in the comments. Yeah, it was an action comedy, I would say, and the comedy was good in it. Wasn't too over the top. The acting was good. I liked Mel Gibson as the villain. Naomi Watts was good as the love interest. And although it was quite repetitive, which films like that are, I didn't find it boring. I thought it was quite good, quite clever, and yeah, I thought it was generally a good film, and I'd recommend this to anyone really. It's if you want to watch a decent film, I would watch it. And my last film that I watched in the last week, there was one I watched today, but that'll be on my next video because I haven't written up a review for that yet, and I will only do it when I have a written up review, is Yes Man, which is Jim Carrey, and I had recently, well not recently, I've had it on Blu-ray for quite a while, but I'd never got around to watching it. and I didn't have anything to watch in particular, and I just wanted to watch something that was an easy watch that I knew that I was going to enjoy, and I do enjoy pretty much all of Jim Carrey's movies. So I decided to watch this because Jim Carrey is, as I say, one of my favourite actors, and it's mainly not even for his comedy films. I mean, two of my favourite films of all time are The Truman Show and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, but his comedies are still good. I mean, Dumb and Dumber, The First Ace Ventura, Liar Liar, his early ones are the better ones, The Mask. But I did really enjoy this. Was it brilliant? No, but it was fun and it was a good film to shut your mind off to. I haven't seen a Jim Carrey film that I don't actually like. And I thought the story was good, and it was very similar to Liar Liar, like extremely similar, but still, it was a good film. And if you like comedies, or if you like Jim Carrey and you haven't seen this film, then I would recommend it to you because it was quite a decent film. Right, so now I'll go through my ratings for each film. So I'll just go through quickly. So first I gave Herself a 3.5 stars. I gave The Last Castle a 5 stars. I gave Locked Down 2 stars. I gave Outside the Wire, sorry, hang on a minute, 3 stars. I gave Monsters Inc. 5 stars. News of the World 4 stars. Boss Level 3.5 stars. And Yes Man 4 stars. Those are my opinions. Some of those films, maybe all of those films, you don't agree on. You may not like them. You may like them more than I did. Film is subjective. Not everyone likes the same films, and that's a good thing, because if we all like the same films, then it wouldn't be great, because then we wouldn't know what films are good and what films are genuinely bad. That's the good thing about films. Some are bad, some are good. I enjoy most films. Even if they are bad films, I get enjoyment from all of them, as I've said in previous videos. But I just enjoy watching films and just switching myself off for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Especially now whilst we're in lockdown, it's the best thing you can do, really. Sorry I've waffled on again a bit, but I do like to get my point across. And these videos are not professional at all, but oh well, it's the type of video that I like to do. I've not got a professional setup. I'm not a very professional person, if I'm being honest with you. But the more subscribers I get, the more that I will be determined to do a better job. I am trying my best as it is at the moment, but there's not many videos I can do that I can think of, because I can't really do any videos that require editing, because on the phone that I haven't really got much options for editing. I've tried before and it just doesn't go well, but yeah, I will try and do more videos, but yeah, I don't even know what to say now. So I should just end the video. If you like the video, please give it a like. You can dislike it if you want. It doesn't bother me. It shows that I'm doing something wrong, that I need to improve. I wouldn't be surprised, but yeah, if you want to see more of these videos, then hit the subscribe button. I have no schedule, so they could be at any point, but yeah, so until the next video, bye.